over the last little while, we've been impressed by the amount of new viewers that we're getting in. I've had several people ask me personally, I know you've had as well, about this whole submit an idea thing. I can really win $10,000 for submitting an idea. I could really win an all-expense-paid trip for two from anywhere in the world to the Olympic province of British Columbia at the conclusion of season 1. Yes. But it's kind of interesting to me, with such a wonderful opportunity to make money and great trips and stuff, that people somehow seem a little reluctant. Is that a good word? Reluctant?
You know what, Dean? I think it is. Everybody's kind of holding back a little. And I know that we've had a few discussions with a few people as to why that could be. In fact, some of those people are people who have submitted ideas, who are thinking about submitting ideas.
Right.
But why is that?
Kind of holding on to them for one reason or another. So we had a conversation about this. Is it a case of people thinking, well, we've got until June to submit these ideas, so let's just, we'll deal with it next week or whatever.
No hurry, no rush.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the truth, I guess. But the other interesting thing happened as a result of your conversation with your daughter, who has a couple of good ideas that we'll talk about in a bit. But she brought to light something about that reluctance we talked about that I thought was worth discussing with our audience. Maybe some of our viewers are going through the same things that Heather brought up.
Well, that's just it. There were a few things, right? Once we got past the issue of, well, I'm your daughter, I can actually submit.
Yeah.
Right? So
yes, Heather, you can.
Yes, you can. And then it was, well, but some of these things I've talked back and forth with my friends about. And, is it just me? Or can two of us submit an idea together and share it?
Absolutely.
Sure. So the answer is yes, you can.
If you got a team idea, get us the team idea. Sure.
Yeah. And then, finally, the big thing. Well, if I submit my idea, I can win 10 grand. Maybe.
Right. I got a shot at it if I submit my idea.
But if I keep my idea and do it myself, I can make millions.
Right.
Why would I want to give you my idea and only get a chance to win 10 grand? Maybe.
And how did you deal with it? What was your answer to her?
Well, if you don't submit your idea and you don't do it, you're going to get nothing.
Right, exactly. And my experience as a patented inventor and in dealing with a lot of people that have had great ideas in the past is that they hold on to that idea so tightly and they're so reluctant to share it with anybody for fear of it being stolen that nothing ever happens with it. I wonder if this sounds familiar to any of our viewers, because I know that they're all intrigued with ideas and new concepts. I wonder how many people watching today have had this great idea bubbling away in the back of their mind for years and 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 have never done anything with it. So, before we started shooting our big idea segment today, we kind of came up with a little bit of information that you should have. Deal with it as you see fit. But we thought that you should know that there are several high net worth individuals. Some might call them angel investors. Some might go as far as venture capitalists.
Accredited investors, sophisticated investors.
That are looking for new opportunities.
Yes, they are.
Those people are watching this show with keen interest. So, how would or how should that change somebody's reluctance to opening up and sharing the idea?
Well, here's what I think you should consider,
okay,
or what everybody out there should consider. There are lots of great ideas out there, and in the world of business, really when it comes down to it, ideas are like buses. There's one every 5 minutes.
Sure.
You might look at it like exercise. You need to exercise that idea muscle by submitting that idea and actually getting your mind thinking about putting it together and submitting it.
Right.
There will be more. Have confidence. That's going to happen. Just do it. Take a look at Amanda Blythe. She submitted...
That's where I was going.
10, 12...
I asked her, how do you get so many great ideas? And she just says, I'm receptive to new ideas. I kind of have my radar up all the time, and when new ideas come to me and I'm consciously looking for them, they seem to come in droves. So I echo your sentiments on that. But the thing that we really want our idea machines to know is that these high net worth individuals are keenly interested in making investments in new ideas and new strategies. But if you've checked out our Submit an Idea page, the legalities say what?
Well, they say that obviously you're releasing the ownership of that idea,
right,
to the contest.
Right.
So if you're worried about that and you really do want to do something with your idea rather than just submitting it, we encourage you to contact Dean and I directly. You can send an email to info@racetoamillion.ca.
We'll both get it.
And enter into a discourse with us about, your idea and your concerns, and that this is something you want to do, because we're here to help you as well.
We strongly believe that a single idea can change the world, but these ideas don't do us any good if we hang on to them so tightly that they never see the light of day. So what we are suggesting to you is, if you feel confident, contact us directly. We'd be happy to have a candid, non-disclosure agreement conversation with you about your idea. Here's why we want that to happen. Number one, we want to encourage that creativity. Number two, we want you to know that you're not alone. There are people out there with really deep pockets that are looking to invest in a great idea, maybe like yours, but if nobody hears about it, they don't know where the investment goes. So if we've earned your trust and your confidence as a result of this show, feel free to drop us a line. info@racetoamillion.ca. You could leave us your telephone number. We'll follow up with you and maybe have just a kind of a free consultation. Discuss the merits of the idea, and in the event that there's something there for some of our interested, deep-pocketed parties watching the show, then maybe we could get a handshake going and get that whole ball rolling. But the thing that really kind of gets under my saddle is, and I understand completely why it happens, but what gets under my saddle is when people hold on to ideas so tightly for fear of losing it that they never do anything about it. And I wonder how many world and life-changing inventions or ideas are being held close to the chest for that reason. So, as you know, at Race to a Million, we want to give you permission to succeed. We want to encourage that entrepreneurial spirit. So give us a call. If you feel confident talking about it, we'll drill down a little bit more and maybe introduce you to some people that can help make that dream come alive. Because what would you rather have? 100% of absolutely nothing, or 90% of a world-changing idea? Does that make sense? That
makes perfect sense. And let's give them a couple of examples. Let's talk about a couple more ideas.
Sure.
Maybe that haven't quite yet been submitted, but as of today, we'll consider them submitted.
Okay.
They just got to be formally put into writing. But it's a formality.
And it's your daughter, Heather Cameron-Inglis.
Heather Cameron-Inglis.
She's been sitting on these ideas for a little while, and they're good stuff. And it must make Dad's heart proud to know his little girl's got the old gray matter working.
Chip off the old block.
Chip off the old block. What was the first one you talked about?
Well, she's had a few of them. One that she hasn't submitted yet, but it was with her friend, Carissa.
Okay.
And
way to go, Carissa.
They've come up with an idea for a iPhone or Android app.
Okay.
And this is one that I know that that's close to your heart, that you can really relate to. Having taught the Dale Carnegie course for quite some time, they've come up with an app, or an idea for an app, to help them break the ice in conversations with various different people. Now, it's not that they're not good conversationalists, but if you're talking to a boyfriend or a girlfriend on the other end of the phone, and you want to keep the conversation going and interesting and not boring, or you're talking with your best friend on the phone.
Thought starters.
What are you doing today? I don't know. What are you doing today?
How about that weather out there, huh? Yeah, pretty boring
So
stuff.
how do you keep the conversation going and make it interesting and put something back into that relationship? Well, they think there should be a really great application for the iPhone, for Android, for Windows 7, whatever, that allows you, or that turns you on to different things that you could talk about, different ways to keep the conversation interesting and alive and exciting.
So if I'm hearing you right, you'd open up the app and it'd be something like, conversation with distant family members. Boom. you know, it might be some conversation starters.
What do I
there.
say to my grandma?
Yeah, how do I get a conversation going with maybe that boy or girl that I like? And, you know, I'm a little uneasy getting that conversation going. It's a great idea. Has she got a name for the app?
She's been referring to it as a conversation starter or an icebreaker.
The Icebreaker app. Nice job, Heather and Carissa.
Heather and Carissa.
Heather and Carissa. The other one that Heather shared with us was something, I mean, I've been out of high school for so long I haven't even thought of annuals, but does our American friends call them annuals too?
I think they're called yearbooks.
Yearbooks,
high school
annuals,
yearbooks.
sure. I was interested to hear that a new trend with many high schools is the grads that is, don't receive their yearbooks or annuals until like October of the following year.
After they graduate,
Yeah.
like if they're in the graduating class, they graduate, their commencement or their year-end grad is done, everything's finished.
And then the yearbook gets mailed to them.
Later on that year, the yearbook goes up, so nobody's signing yearbooks anymore.
Half the fun of it for me, for back in the day, was going around to my buddies. Hey, say something funny here, and they're great to look back on. So Heather's second idea is a prepackaged fold-out sheet of paper with the high school logo and everything on it, the grad year emblazoned on it, and it's essentially an autograph standalone piece.
A poster,
a
that
poster.
they can all sign the back,
Right.
and that type of thing. And her idea was building upon what she saw TRU and Alpha getting together to do.
With the mosaic, yeah.
So they're doing this mosaic piece, and they were talking about using it as a method to go to the schools and school groups to help with fundraisers and that type of thing. And for her, she's like, well, I don't care about the fundraising. I mean, obviously I do, but, it doesn't really get me going. And I don't care about the... having, people that are supporting my school or whatever appearing in this photo. I don't really.
I care about my friends. I care about what they think of me.
But I want something for them to
those
sign.
memories forever. Yeah.
So if you could create that logo mosaic with the photos of all my class that I can go around and get them to sign on the back as a poster.
I like it.
That's something we could use.
Isn't it funny how one idea leads to another? And Heather, Carissa, thanks for taking the time to submit those ideas, even if they're not submitted yet. And yes, just because your old man is one of the partners in this production, you still qualify to win that $10,000. And to reiterate, $10,000. Somebody is going to win 1 million cents Canadian just for giving us your 2 cents by submitting an idea. Don't hold on to them any longer. Give yourself permission to dream and succeed. Get us those ideas on the Race to a Million page, www.racetoamillion.ca. Right on the front page, submit idea here. Boom. That's where you click it. Or if you'd rather submit in confidence to Peter or myself, feel free to do so. info@racetoamillion.ca. $10,000 will be awarded to somebody that submits an idea, or an all-expense-paid trip for two from anywhere in the world to the Olympic province of British Columbia to visit us at the conclusion of Season 1 right here in beautiful Kamloops, British Columbia.
And when they submit their idea and we publish it,
yes,
they're going to get one of these really cool T-shirts.
Yeah. So what are you waiting for? Get us your ideas. Racetoamillion.ca. Submit your idea today. 10 grand or an all-expense-paid trip for two from anywhere in the world could be yours for sharing your 2 cents with us.